Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how to migrate a self-service managed database to AWS Managed Database using AWS Database Migration Task. So what is AWS Data Migration Task? So AWS DMS itself called as DMS, and it is a managed migration and replication service that helps move your database and analytics workloads to AWS quickly, securely, and with minimal downtime and zero data loss. And DMS supports migration between 20 plus databases and analytics engines. And it will be AWS managed is maintain high availability and minimal downtime during the migration process with multi-AZ and ongoing data replication and monitoring. And it will also support homogeneous and heterogeneous databases migrations from Oracle, SQL Server, Postgres, MySQL, MongoDB, MariaDB, and other databases. And almost all it has plenty of sizes like terabytes or petabytes at low cost. We can migrate it, and paying only for the compute resources and additional log storage used during the migration process. There will be no cost effective for this DMS task. So I want to move from my Amazon EC2 MySQL server to AWS Managed RDS MySQL. So in this case, I am using AWS Data Migration Service. So this is AWS Data Migration Replication Instance. So it will connect source endpoint from source, and it reaches the target endpoint, target RDS using target endpoints. So we need to achieve this from EC2 building a server and deploying an MySQL inside the server, and we need to migrate using DMS service. So let's get back and achieve this. So let me launch a VPC. So I don't have any VPCs in my region. So I'm launching a VPC in North Virginia region, which is cost effective. So create VPC. So it's Tarun VPC, and I'll go for 10.80 series, and I'll go for two availability zones, two public subnets, and no private subnets, and no NAT gateways, no VPC endpoints. Simply create VPC. So it will enable the DNS hostnames, resolutions, and subnets, attaches, associations, and internet gateway attaching to the VPC, and route tables also entries will be added. So you can see here this VPC. My VPC 10.80 series is created. So this step is completed, and let me go to EC2. And I'll go for RHL line, which is supported by MySQL 8.3 version. And this is the ready head distribution. I'll go for 9 SSD volume type, pre-tier eligible. And I'll go for 64 volt, and instance type will be T3 A medium, which is some bit faster than T2 micro. And go for laptop key pair. So I have already key pair. It's same VPC, and I'm launching in 1 availability zone and enable the public IP. Let me create a security group. So this is the security group I have given, DMS allow all. So I'll go for all traffic anywhere. There is no restrictions of the security group, it's allowed all. And I'll go for 15 GB. So I don't want to enable any encryption for this, and no additional details, nothing. Launch EC2 instance. So let me connect to my EC2 instance. Which is still running. Yeah, now I can able to log in. Let me change the background. So let me check the OS version for this. So we can see here 9.2 version RHL 9 is installed, and you got the RHL 9 subscription as well with the AWS Managed. So I have checked the OS release and I need to yum clean all. So if there is any unwanted repositories or packages, it will clean up. So no files are removed. So I need to check the yum list whether my subscription is added or not. So I can see here RHL 9. So base OS and AppStream has been added. And let me update to my latest packages. So nearly 62 packages need to be installed. So I am currently in 16 or 17. So I need to go to website of MySQL to download the MySQL repo. So this is the AWS architecture diagram where I have launched EC2 in public subnet, and I need to move my source EC2 SQL so into target RDS AWS, which is AWS managed. So using AWS data migration task. So let me go to the MySQL page. So and I choose for Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and the OS version is 9 and it is 64-bit. And I'll go for download RPM bundle, which is completely all the packages. Copy the link, paste it here. So I can see here 62 by 62 is already installed and it is in cleanup. It will take some time to clean up. So I can see here 62 by 62 and running scriptlets. So let me go back to duplicate screen. So it will take some time to complete all the cleanup process. Till that time you can install some packages. So I have copied the link where HTTPS link bundle.tar from MySQL. So duplicate once again. Let me check the present working directory. I'm in the /root. So So let me create a folder. So there is no files here. So it is saying that there is no duplicate command, duplicate package. So I need to install duplicate. It will ask for prompt yes or no. So it is completed. You can see here upgraded all the packages: Python, OpenSSL, kernel, network manager, and all the utilities where the RHL9 needed. And I can see here there is a MySQL bundle.tar. So I need to extract this to using tab. So you can see here these are all extracted files, and I need to install using this command using *-y. So it will install MySQL. What are the files it is having? MySQL community, and I have given -* so it will install all these packages within a single click, and it will auto approve with -y. So you can see here MySQL community common packages, Perl packages, whatever the MySQL wants. It is installing MySQL community server 8.0.33. Let's wait for till 92 packages need to be installed. So it is completed. So you can see here there is 92 packages being installed, and check the status of the MySQL. So it is in dead state, it is not in active state. So let me start it. Or else you can use systemctl enable space -- now MySQL. So it will start at the booting level at every time whenever you restart the server. So let me check the status of MySQL. So it is in active and running state. And I need to grab the password of the temporary password of MySQL. I need to do the secure installation for this. So it has been generated as my temporary password as this. So I need to copy this. So it will be example password like this. So I need to do MySQL secure installation. So it is asking for the root. So give this password. Let me copy the password. So it is asking for new password to set, and it has been set. And you need to keep all yes for all prompts, set the password, and you need to do yes anonymous users, resell or root login, remove test database, and reload release. Let me check 1 second. Okay, it's done right. I don't know how to cancel this operation, so I'm not a SQL or DB guy. So let me take a new duplicate session, or else I can use a previous duplicate screen. Let me close this. So I have checked that whether it is done or not, MySQL Secure installation, and it has been successful. So let me check the service again, whether it is running or stopped. So it is in active and running, and you need to log in with MySQL inside this, using the password you have set earlier. So you can see here MySQL is logged in. Let me check the databases. Okay, it is spelling mistake. So you can see here information schema, MySQL performance schema, and SOS. These are the system defined packages, and these are the databases. Whenever you install MySQL 8.0.33, so it will be default databases like these four. And let me check any other users are created or not. So to check the users list, you need to use this command. So you can see here root MySQL system session information schema. These are the users it has been created. And next you need to match the versions of the database on both source and target and deploy the RDS MySQL in single AZ. So I am using a cost efficiency for deploying the RDS in single AZ, whether you can use multi-AZ in real-time scenarios. And I need to upload this dump to here, so I'll use WinSCP for this. And let me log out, exit. You can use exit for that. For this I need to use, sorry, SSH. I'm enabling password authentication as yes. Why? Because I need to copy the file from here into the server. So let me restart the file. So I have restarted my EC2 server. So let me connect to the server and upload the dump. So I have a downloaded dump. So this is my sample database. Let me check whether the database is having some tables or any data inside that. So you can see here classic models. This is the database, and these are the tables, table structures, and all these kind of data inside the database. So let me close this and upload this dump to my SQL server, which is installed on RHL 9. Let me go back to the AWS console and copy the public IP. Before that, you need to do the, sorry, you need to reset the password of EC2 user. And I have resetted the EC2 user password also, and I'll give the password using the public IP. I need to connect my server. Click on yes, and it is reading remote directory. And I'll go for root. So I'll copy in temp. So I don't have permission directly to copy in root directory. So it is done. Let me close this. So let me go to cd/temp and let me check the file. So my file is there, and I'll copy from here to /root/dms. Let me me go back to my CDDMS. So you can see here my SQL database.sql file is already there, and we have uploaded the dump and make the RDS and RI with endpoint connection setup, and DMS subnet group, parameter group, and option group need to be created while deploying the RDS, and we need to create a DMS parameter group for RDS and replication instance also, and I need to choose 8.0. Need to choose same version for the RDS also. So you can see here my RDS is also the same version. So you can see here MySQL -u root-p. So you can see here 8.0.33. This is the same version I need to deploy inside the managed RDS. Sorry for this. So let me deploy the RDS here inside the AWS. So currently there is no RDS inside my AWS console. So you can see here there is no databases. So before that I need to create a parameter group and subnet group and option group. So create a parameter group and choose for MySQL 8.0, and I'll go for DMS parameter group. For the naming convention I can use DMS or RDS, so whatever you want you can use it. For the naming good convention I use DMS parameter group. So this is the DMS task, right? So I am using the name. So let me create 8.0 DMS parameter group is created. Let me create a DB subnet group also. Copy and paste and choose your own VPC and choose two availability zones. So I'll go for 1A and 1B. So my public subnets are in 1A and 1B. I'm not sure, and let me check that whether my subnets are in 1A and 1B. So these are the two subnets and it is in 1A and 1B. So I can see here the two subnets, public subnets, and it is already attached to subnet associations and route tables as attached with internet gateway. So it has been done, and let me choose the subnets, these two subnets, and create a subnet group. I have given parameter group. Okay, I need to change this name. So this is a subnet group and I have modified it. So you can use the description name. So it is in created, right? So you cannot change the name. So parameter group is created and option group need to create. Choose MySQL and engine version will be 8.0, which is latest, and it should be matched with source and target RDS. So it has been created, and let me go to databases and create a database. I'll go for MySQL and I'll go for 8.0.33, which is my source database version 8.0.33, and I'll go for free time, and it will deploy in single DB. DB instance identifier as DMS RDS 1, and I'll go for admin password and I'll give the password as generate, and I'll go for the password as Tarun 123. So you need to give the alphanumeric password which does not include at the rate. So I'll go for t3.micro. t3.micro is enough for me, and we'll go for gp3 storage, and 20 storage is enough. No auto scaling need to be enabled, and IOPS should be matched 3125 IOPS, and Tarun VPC and EMS parameter group, which is subnet group. I have named it as parameter group, and I need to access the public. And VPC security groups I have created it already, and choosing availability zone as 1A primary, and certificate authorities you can create whatever it is. So I'll go for default, and the 306 is the port you need to connect to RDS, and I'll go for password authentication. No other monitoring or no backups needed. So need to choose DMS parameter group and DMS option group here. So you can need to give as initial database name, or you can ignore this. So don't go for enable any encryption, no menu version upgrade, no preference, no deletion protection. I need deletion protection, that's it. So create database. So it is saying that cost. So this is my password and the user admin. So you can see here my RDS database is going to create, and it will take so much time to create. So you can verify the endpoint and port it is not already created, and availability zones as I chose to as 1A and VPC, and two subnets DMS parameter groups. Sorry, this is subnet group. I have named it as different name, and IPv4 address security group I have attached, and it should be publicly accessible. Certificate authority is default, and instance certificate expiration date, authority date, and certificate authority name. Let me go to the configuration, and I choose 53.micro, 2 CPU, 1 GB RAM, and this is the password. No IMDB authentication, and it is no as multi-AC. DMS option group is applying. So whether you want to detach or attach any other option groups, you can do that option group and parameter groups at any time. So you can apply at like doing the binaries or any other parameter groups. And there is no auto scaling, and storage type is CP3. So this is my DMS RDS1 database, and it is installed with 8.0.33. And let me check whether it is came up or not. It is still in creating. So till the time I need to dump my file from my server to a SQL database. Switch to root, and you have in DMS. Sorry, it is in DMS under root, and this is the file I need to dump into my SQL. So I use this command. So upload the dump into database, I need to use mysql-u root -p less than to dump your file to database. So it is this file mysql sample database.sql. So it will ask for the password. So it has been done, and let me check. So you can see here classic models, which is my database dump, has been dumped into my SQL. So previously there is no database like classic models. So here you can see here before the dump it is not there, so I have already dumped it. So the classic models database has been appeared. So let me check the database. Sorry, I need to give space. So it has been database changed. So let me check the tables inside this. So you can see here customers, employees, offices, order details, orders, payments, production lines, products. So these are the 8 tables which has been inside the classic models. So these are the tables I need to migrate from my EC2 to source EC2 to RDS AWS Managed using DMS migration service. So I have 8 rows currently, so 8 tables. So let me check whether my RDS is came up or not. So it is been available state. So try to log into this RDS and check whether the databases are there or not, default databases. So let me duplicate the session. Let me change the screen so that you can understand where I am doing. So this is the source and this is the target. And copy the host name of the AWS RDS. And username is admin. Give -p, so it will prompt the password. So I have given the password as Tarun1234. So it is been logged in. Let me check the databases. Sorry, databases. So you can see here information schema, MySQL performance schema. These are the default databases inside the RDS. So you can see here there is the source is classic models information schema, MySQL performance schema, and this is the target. So similarly same databases, but it is different databases which is managed by AWS. So let me check the sizes of the databases. So this is a command to check the sizes of the database. So you can see here 7.8594 something is there. So you can see here you can compare the databases both. So MySQL is in 2.694 and MB, and this is RDS which is having 7.8594, and system is 0.156, and system is classic models is 0.5000, and this is a 0.156 system databases like predefined databases by my self service, and this is the RDS, and you can log in successfully to RDS. And before that, whenever you're using DMS replication instance, you need to create source endpoint and target endpoints to check the connectivity between these two and these two. So it will establish a line between this connection between a source and target. So we need to establish these two lines. So let me create this line first, and after that we need to create target line. So before that we need to go database migration service. So you can see here there is no replication instances here. So this is my replication instance which is acts as a mediator or a service between the source endpoint and target endpoint, and between target and source EC2 and target RDSs. So let me create an replication instance which is going to take 5 to 10 minutes. DMS replication instance. So copy the same name. And I'll go for t3.medium as recommended, and I'll go for updated version of DMS engine version, and I don't want for multi-AZ, I need for single AZ. So 20 GB is enough for allocated storage, so I don't have any that much data, so I'm having less data. So before that, you need to create a replication subnet group also for this replication instance also. So create a subnet group. Okay, I have already subnet group. Let me delete this. And DMS replication instance subnet group. Choose your own VPC, and I'll go for two public subnets which I have, and create a subnet group. So which is created. Let me go back and refresh. So it is not created, so let me refresh my page completely. And the same settings, and I'll go for 20 GB is enough. IPv4 DMS subnet or application access subnet group, and I need to choose public accessible and availability zone as 1 year, and the same security group, and no encryption. I don't want any encryption or maintenance or backups. So create application instance. So you can see here it is creating in 1 year. So my EC2 instance is in also 1 year. So it will be no transfer cost, which is in same region and which is in same availability zone. So make sure that while doing any testing or R&D, you need to choose the same region and the same availability zone. Or else if the data transfer cost is between regions or between availability zones, it will be very high. So let's wait for DMS replication group, DMS application instance to be created. So till the time we can check the we have already checked the connected to RDS and check the databases, and we have verified the databases but not verified the tables. Let me check the databases users also inside the RDS. Okay, my connection is terminated. Copy this command to check the users list. So these are the databases inside AWS RDS, and these are the users: admin, MySQL, info, schema, csn.cs, RDS admin. So you need to create a user inside the EC2 because it should access all the privileges without the root. So root doesn't have the privileges, so you need to create a user with these privileges like admin user and admin at the rate 123 password or any other. So it will act as a source endpoint while giving these passwords and all these users. So it will access from the application instance source endpoint. So you need to access the grants. After this, we can check the three types of database migrations, and one is full load and one is full load with CDC and only CDC. So let's wait for the DMS replication instance to be created and up. So it is still creating. You can see here guys, there is a DMS application instances in available state, and this is a VPC which I have created, and t3.medium is my class instance type, and engine version is updated 3.5.1, and US is 1A, and this is the public IP address and the private IP address, and it is not created in multi-AZ, so it is created now with the timestamp, and it will add the tags and ARN. So let me go back to the replication instance and check the configuration. Everything is looks fine, and you can see here there is no migration task attached with replication instance. So after that, you need to create a source endpoint and target endpoint to establish the connectivity between source and target using replication instance. So let me go to the endpoints and create an endpoint. So first I will create a target endpoint. It will is easy. So create RDS instance, which is choose the RDS, which is RDS instance in my AWS console. So this is the target endpoint. You can see here a target endpoint allows AWS DMS to write data onto a database to other databases such as AWS DynamoDB, Arkinesis, or other databases inside AWS. And this is a DMS instance identifier, and target engine is MySQL, and I need to choose information manually. And this is the server name, and this is the connection endpoint, and the port number, and the username. So I need to give the password. So this is the password I have given to the RDS. So there is no SSL layer, and need to check the endpoint settings. No endpoint settings, no KMS encryption. I'll go for default and no tags, and choose the VPC and choose the replication instance and run test. So if it is success, it will be the endpoint line is verified and the connection is successfully established between DMS application and target RDS. So you can see here it is in successful state. So whenever you run the test using VPC and DMS application instance, it will establish a line between DMS application instance and target RDS. So it is successful, and let me create an endpoint for this. So it has been created, and let me create a source endpoint also, and let me copy the public IP address for my source EC2 and go to the DMS endpoint identifier as source EC2 MySQL, and choose for MySQL information manually. So one name, you can give the host name or public IP address. So port should be connected on 3306, and username is root, and the password. So you can check the users list. To check the users list using this command, so you can see here MySQL information sessions is root is users. So I'm going with the root user. Endpoint settings, nothing. KMS default encryption. So this is the password and application instance and the VPC, and create endpoint and go to the source. Okay, I missed the S here, and go to connections, and you can check the details. Username is root, and no other attributes, and this is the server IP address, public IP, and test the connection using replication instance. It is still taking time to check the connectivity. So it verifies the source endpoint, source EC2, and DMS replication instance line. So whether it is the connection is established or not. So it is still on testing. So you can see here the status message is failed and test endpoint failed status messages cannot connect to ODBC provider, ODBC general error, application detail message saying that 54 is not allowed to connect to this MySQL server. So this replication instance is not allowed to connect to this MySQL server. Why? Because so whenever you are doing the MySQL secure installation using the MySQL secure installation command, so after setting the password, you have given keep all yes for all prompts. So while doing that, you have disallowed the root login to access any other particular user to connect from outside any service to AWS EC2 server inside the MySQL. So this is where you need to get the error like it is not able to connect to MySQL server. So for this, you need to create a user using this command. So you need to create a user with privilege like admin or and using the password, and it should be grant all privilege on that, and it should be flush, and you need to whether verify the grants is allowed or not. So let me go and create a user, and I'll be creating admin at the 123 does not satisfy the current policy requirements. One second. So you need not to give any passwords like this at the rate. So you can go for it is asking for password. So let me give some big password. Does not satisfy the current policy requirements. So you can see here I have given no uppercase letters. So that's what it is saying. The current policy requirements is you need to use one uppercase and one lowercase, one special character and one number. So I have used one uppercase letter AA and at the rate 123. So it is affected, and you can check the list of users. So select user. So you can see here admin is created, and you need to grant all privilege to admin. And after that you need to flush privilege. And you need to check the grants for the user whether it is added or not. So you can see here grants for admin, grant, select, insert, update, delete, create. All the grants has been added and modified. And you can see here application password, admin, about, exempt, audit, and other authentication related grants has been added. So you need to use this user as source endpoint. So you click on modify, a capital here. So click on root. Instead of root you need to give admin, and the password is this. You don't have any connection attributes to define primary key or foreign key. So test connection using replication instance. Let's check whether it is verified successfully or not. Between the source EC2 and the DMS replication instance line should be established successfully. You can see here the status message as successful, so no need to worry about that. So my endpoints are verified and it has been successfully established at the line. So this source endpoint is successful and the target endpoint is successful. So now you need to do the database migration service using EC2 MySQL data into RDS managed AWS managed RDS. So you need to use the AWS data migration service between these two. Let me check the databases. So you can see here this is the database I want to copy from my source to RDS. So I need to create a replication instance here in the database migration task. So you need to create a task, DM migration task 1 for full load. So you will be having three types of migration types as I have mentioned earlier. So three types of database migrations. One is full load and one is full load with CDC and only CDC. So what happens in full load is you can see here. Click on info. So when you are performing full load, it will perform a one-time migration from the source endpoint to the target endpoint. So whenever the data is been in the source, the data is been copied from source to RDS at one single time of the DMS task. So this is the full load only, the migration type, and you can see here full load and CDC. So migrating existing data and replicate ongoing changes. So whenever you drop or delete any table or update any table or alter any passwords, so whatever the source has been updated, the changes, it will reflect the same changes in the targets itself whenever you're using the migrating existing data and replicate ongoing changes, full load and CDC in the migration type. And this is the mediator which acts as the DMS application instance to verify all these checks. And you have the third option also, replicate data changes only. So don't perform a one-time migration, so but continue to replicate data changes from the source to the target. So it will won't perform this line. So what happens in the second migration type is it will uses a full load and CDC. So it will start the full load. After that, it will whatever the changes you have been done here. So it will also it will be placed in the target RDS. So what happens in the third one is, so it will only replicate the changes from the source to target RDS using the third migration type. So whatever you changes here, so it will be modified using the third migration type. So it won't perform any one type migration like only one time full load. So this is the three differences between three types of migration types between these differences. So I'll go for migrate existing data and first, and I'll create a second database type database migration task as replicate ongoing changes, and the third one is data changes only for the third type replication task. And I'll go for migrating existing data and choosing the DMS replication instance and source endpoint. This is my target endpoint, and you need to do nothing. And limited life mode is called like blob, and you can see here globs. These are the ignores columns or fields and containing large objects, so you can give 1024 or full blob mode or limited life so life size mode in KBs. So I don't want to enable any validation or task logs or advanced task settings like control tables using schema. So I'll go for creating a schema, enter a schema. So I'll go for all, and I don't want to include this information schema MySQL performance schema assist. So I need to copy this and paste it here. So I need to exclude these tables while doing the migration task. So I have given the source name, and the source table name is should be completely whatever the source having the databases you need to copy into RDS. So using this task, so I am giving the information schema, it should be excluded from the source. So and after that MySQL also should be excluded. So this is information schema and this is MySQL, and one more is performance schema and other is sys. And I need to click on exclude, add new selection rule. You need to verify whether the spaces or not. So it will work as it is. So you can see here sys, performance schema and MySQL are being excluded. Information schema are excluded. Whatever the percentage use, all the databases should be replicated into the RDS. So I have used, and what happens is, so you have the classic models. So this database will migrate from source EC2 to RDS. So from source RDS to source EC2 to RDS, it will migrate using DMS replace instance database migration task. So let's verify that and create the replication task. and there won't be any transformation rules, no pre-migration assessment reports. So if you want to automatically on create, you need to enable the pre-migration assessment report. So I'll go for manually later, and I don't want to enable any tags. So this is the database migration type for migrate existing data. It is a full load process and do nothing, and everything is as it is. So if you want to go for table mappings as JSON editor, you can click on JSON editor and you can modify whatever you want the changes to be modified in the table mappings. So it is creating a full load. So currently there is no databases inside the target. So you can see here. So currently this is the RDS and this is the EC2. So in EC2 I have classic models database. I want to migrate this database into RDS. So I don't have any classic models in the target. So let me verify the source RDS classic models tables. And you need to use classic models database and show tables. So you have here 8 rows inside the classic model database. So these are the 8 tables. I need to perform one-time migration as using the migration type as full load. So click on full load. So the task is ready and this is the type as full load, and source is my EC2 MySQL source endpoint, and this is the target endpoint using the DMS replication instance here. So this is a starter and progress is 100%. This is a task here and creation starter, task logs, batch optimizer, task settings. This is the JSON file, and there is no table statistics here. So you can verify the other insert, delete, update, DDLS or full load rows whether it is added or not in the source table. And this is a mapping selection rules. So you can see here, sys and these are the table names is excluded. You can see here excluded. Schema name is like performance schema is excluded. Schema name is like MySQL is excluded, and schema like name is information schema is excluded, and percentage is included. So whatever the tables, all the tables will be added using percentage and percentage. So there is no table statistics, and inside the target RDS also you don't have any table like this. So you don't want to take any skeleton backup for this. So in real time we need to take a skeleton backup for this. So let me start this. So I don't want to enable create migration assessment report or modify or move or delete or stop. So let me start this task. So you can see here status message is starting and progress is 0%. I strongly recommend you to check the endpoint's connectivity status, whether it is connection successfully or failure. So at the time only you need to create a migration task. So without those it won't create any migration task. Let me go back to the database task one, and you can see the table statistics. I have given MySQL as excluded, but I don't know why it is included. Mm-hmm. So it is running with errors. Let me check. It is 73%. So previously you have information schema, MySQL performance schema, and sys. So Right now you have AWS DMS control and classic models databases have been imported from source to RDS. So this AWS DMS control itself managed by AWS. So no need to worry about this. And classic models is been migrated from source to RDS. Let me check why MySQL is added. I have given MySQL also. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have given MySQL also. Let me modify this task. Let's check whether it is completed or not. And it is 73%. You can see here MySQL is also excluded, but it has been included. So the progress is in 100%. So it has been done. And let me modify this task and check this. So sys is excluded, performance schema is excluded, and MySQL is also excluded, and percentage on information schema is also excluded. Percentage is added. So I'll give a source name as classic models. So at the time it will work. So I'll do one thing and drop tables on target, and after that it will start the migration task. So you can see here this tables. So whenever it is running, it will drop the tables inside the target. And choose on restart, so it will start from the beginning. And you can see here that it is started and there is no table statistics inside this, so the tables all been dropped. And go to the target and check that. So it is taking time. Verify the tables or databases using this command. And this database migration task is started. You can see here no table statistics records found. It is taking time to delete these tables. It is still starting. So you can see here the DMS task is in running state. So because of the error, it has been came up like I have given the pre-migration report mapping rules as, sorry, not pre-migration, it has been mapping rules. So inside the MySQL I have given extra spaces as MySQL L after the space, so it has been not excluded, it has been included, so that is the error. So you can see here classic models, the database has having the tables, these are the tables, it has been table completed and it is a running state. So make sure that whenever you are giving the spaces on MySQL, whenever you are giving any databases, you need to copy exact the database without any copy. I have copied like this. So it has been made a mistake of space error, so MySQL package also installed. So I have modified the task and I have created it again. So you can see here it has been created at 10:51 and it has been started at 11:09 and it has been stopped at 11:10. 1 minute of time. It has been the classic models database having tables and it has been replicated. So we'll do and verify the target RDS also. So you don't have any classic models inside the target RDS. So it is in green color. It is in target RDS. I have connected. So let me check this. So you can see here the classic models has been 0.3438 and these are the tables. The classic models database use classic show tables. So you can match here 8 rows. So these are the 8 rows which has been more successfully migrated from EC2 to RDS. So what we have done is we have spin up a EC2 server in public subnet and we have set up the infra on AWS DMS task like creating the source endpoint, DMS application instance, source E2 and deployed RDS MySQL and post confirmation on successful endpoint success status. So we have created a database migration task on full load and we have migrated all whatever the data is in the EC2 server, we have migrated into RDS. So the first step is completed on the DMS task with full load. So we can do the full load with CDC also. Before that, I'll do one thing. So I'll create one table inside the source. So we can check that whether the table is added in the target side or not. So use this command to create a table inside the source. So using the full load, it won't copy. So let's check that. Use classic models. So database change show tables. Sorry. So 8 rows. So let me create one January table. So let's see whether it will be updated in the target side or not. January. So this is the table. January table is being created in classic models. So let me verify the tables. So you can see here before it was 8 rows and now it is 9 rows. So January table has been added. So let me check in the target side also whether the database table has been added or not. So you can see here show tables in the classic models. So customers, employees, there is no January table has been updated. So it has been as 8 rows only. So this is where you need to do with the database migration task as full load with CDC. So it will perform full load and the CDC task also. So let me create a DMS task with application as full load with CDC. So there won't be any spaces here. So the replication instance, source endpoint, target database endpoint, and choose migrate existing data and replicate ongoing changes. And no need to disable CDC stop mode and no recovery table and target replication mode it should be. So you have all the tables inside this, so you need to give drop tables on target. So why? Because it will delete the target database tables and add it again and it will perform the CDC mode from here. So you can give that. So or else you can go with the do nothing also. So in this case I am going for do nothing. So it will verify the tables and it will recreate and it will do that. So it will don't need to do anything. Full log mode should be 1024. So I have given the log column settings as 1024 and no CloudWatch, no validation. So in the selection rule, I need to add the schemas. So whatever there in the source database, I need to add here. Where is the databases? Yeah, these are the databases I need to copy. So information schema excluded. So no need to any spaces. Cross check and MySQL. So there won't be any spaces here, and it should be excluded. Add new selection rule as performance schema also, and it should be excluded. Add new selection rule sys, and it is also should be excluded. So you can see here the sys and performance schema and MySQL and information schema are excluded. And add new selection rule as percentage. So to copy the source tables from EC2 to source, these are the tables. So click on manually later, no need to perform any pre-migration report, and create task. So the first task is full load. It has been load completed and it is on 100% and it is verified successfully. So you can see here in the table statistics. So you have 8 tables. So I have created one full load with CDC. The second task. Let's verify in the target. So you will get a January table in here in the target database. So let's start the task, and it is in ready state. So there is no table statistics here. These are the overview details, progress, and start task. So click on start task with full load ongoing replication. So this is the second task. So it is starting. So we have performed the full load migration, and we are doing the full load with CDC migration now. It is now starting stage. So you can see here the January table has been added in the target side. So it is still in running state. So you can see here the database migration type to full load with CDC is running, and it is being 100%. And you can see here January table is added. So using with full load and CDC, it will replicate the tables whatever in the source is having. It will be replicated into the target side. So let me show tables here. So you can see here January table has been added from source to RDS. So previously it is having 8 rows here. So now it is having 9 rows. So January table is added. So and I'll do one more thing also. So and I'll want to add February table here also. So whether my replication is working or not, I need to check that. So you can see here show tables. So my February table is added. So it is now 10 rows. So let me check the target side also. Show tables. Now you can see here February table is also added. So let's verify in the console itself. Let me refresh. Go to table statistics. So it is still in running state. Okay, it is running with full load with CDC, and you can see here February table is also added. One table product lines is got error. So maybe there is having a primary key or a foreign key issue like that, so you no need to worry about that. So you can see here February table is added. So let me do one thing. I'll perform a only CDC also. So whether full load is with CDC is what it will do is full load. After that it will replicate the task using a replication instance. Whatever the data is in the source, it will migrate with CDC also. It's an ongoing replication and on time going changes. And we can use only CDC also. Whatever you want the ongoing changes to be added in the target, you can use only CDC. That is the third option. So let me copy choose this. So you can see here there is only table product lines. Maybe it is causing me due to foreign key or replication issue. So no need to worry about that. And I'll going to stop this. So it is in CDC mode, so I need to stop this. And let me create the third one is only CDC. It will migrate only the replication data, whatever the ongoing changes has been done from the source side. So let me create a task. DMS task only CDC replication. So click on source, replication instance source, and target database endpoints. And choose the replicate data changes only. So we have performed and full load one time activity, and the second time is full load one time activity and replicate ongoing changes with full load and CDC. And is a one time migration source to target, then continuous replicate data changes from the source to target. So the third option is replicate data changes only. So using CDC, don't perform a one time migration but continue to replicate data changes from the source to the target. So whatever the data is coming to the source, so it will automatically place into the target RDS side also. So this is the option where you need to choose replicate data changes only, the CDC mode. Replicate data changes only need to check, and you need to disable start. You can choose for this CDC start mode for source transactions, like you need to specify the timings, whether at what time interval you can do this, and log sequence number, recovery checkpoints. So you need to choose all the settings, and you need to verify the timestamp for this. So whether doing migration, you need to verify the instance EC2 time zone and the RDS time zone should be matched perfectly. And I don't want to preparation mode as do nothing, and disable state CDC mode, and limited size log mode is 1024. It is in KB. No need to turn on validation logs, batch optimize, CloudWatch logs, advanced task settings. No need to change that. And add new selection rule as it is same percentage include, and enter schema classic models, and it should be excluded. And the next is information schema. Okay, it is in percentage. I need to click on enter, add new selection rule, information schema, and it should be excluded. Okay, this is a MySQL. I need to give here, not the classic models. Which are the predefined packages and I predefined databases I'm going to exclude it. Exclude information schema, MySQL I need to give, copy, MySQL is excluded, information schema is excluded, MySQL is excluded. Okay, MySQL is already excluded, performance schema I need to give here. So let me check the performance schema excluded, information schema is excluded, MySQL is excluded, and percentage is included. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 is not added. MySQL, information schema, performance schema, and this is not added, and it should be excluded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. And no need to create any migration reports and create a task manually later. So the third task has been ready. So click on the table statistics. Let me start this task. So we have created the third task and it is replication ongoing. Check the other table statistics. So all are completed. So you're having the January and February tables. These are the two tables I have added, and there's no one-time job load. So it is replication ongoing. So let me do one thing, and I'll create one more table. I'll create March and April. May, June, July tables should be created, and it should be reflected to the target. So by default it is having 10 rows. So now I have created March, April, May, June, July tables. So let me verify the tables. So now it is having 15 rows here. So with using the DMS task as replication ongoing with the CDC only. So let me check whether the database tables has been added inside the target also. Show tables. So I can see here April, July, June, March, May tables has been added in the target side also. So this is where you can check that database migration task using the third CDC replication. So this is where you are having the three types of database migration from full load with CDC and only CDC as replication ongoing. So we have achieved from doing EC2 source and RDS as target, and using DMS migration service we have migrated from the source database to target RDS, moving the databases workloads. And this is how you can modernize the database migration service, and you can check the AWS documentation also. So if whenever you are having any whenever you're having any real-time scenarios, you can check the binary logs or any other you need to do, like server id hyphen equal to 1 and bin log formats. And whenever it is working on premises, it should be added. You need to check with the database guy. So this is where you can migrate your workloads from source EC2 to RDS, or you can use DMS migration service from on-premises to AWS. So other infrastructure, you can move from other infrastructure to AWS RDS as well. So on-premises Amazon EC2 or Amazon RDS also you can migrate from uh, using DMS to RDS as well. So that's it, guys. You understand my point, and this is where the picture is happens. So this is a mediator which acts as a between source and target. So this is the DMS replication instance will work checking the connectivity status between the source and target endpoints. And this database migration task using DMS task, you need to migrate from EC2 to RDS. That's it. So you need to complete the infra with the cloud engineer, and you need to have a database engineer itself to start this process. So these are the steps to do the database migration task. So that's it guys. Thanks for watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe for more videos. Let me know if you have any queries. Please post in the comment box. Thank you.